Hi everyone, happy Monday. This is Vickie Kello, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Brisbane. Happy Monday everyone. Let's see if I can find me. There you go. I am a couple of minutes early. I don't need them today. So we will just wait till everyone gets on. Hi Marie! And I have some goodies here from the new catalogue, from my order. So it arrived today. So we'll have a bit of a play. They're last year's colours in the new dots. I love them. They're so pretty. Okay. So I only did a little bit of an order. It wasn't massive, A, because I'd already bought a lot in pre-order, and B, I haven't used all of that yet. So I'm like, I need to use some of the stuff that I've bought before I buy anything else. So I didn't buy any new stamp sets or anything. But I did buy the new cloud cover ink pad. So the ink pad in this style can only be bought by demos because there is some inconsistencies with the ink. But what they are offering customers is, because it's the reaction between the ink and the foam pad, so what they're offering customers is between the ink spot and the ink refill. So the ink spots are these. You can buy a set of these uninked. I think I've got some, but not on me. So, and stamp, then fill it with the re-inker, and that gives you a more consistent image. So I just want to test out, because I only just got this and I've been in the office today, what mine inks like. And what do I have here? The only stamp set that I have here is this one still, because I've cleaned up and I don't have a lot. When you're on, put a comment so I can see, because I said there's 5 people watching, but I can only see Marie is on. So let me know when you're on. So there's some inconsistency between it being like a blue to a grey. I don't mind this. Mine, it is stamping more grey. It's not blue. Hi, Kerry. But that's okay. So some people have washed that out and then refilled it with another ink pad. I don't know whether that's working yet or not, but there's lots of little tips. But for customers, you'll have the ability to do the ink spot with the refill, and it will be blue, not more grey. So that arrived today. So I can pop that in my container over there. The other thing I got, how pretty are these? So these are last year's colours, 2024 to 2026, but they're brand new in this catalogue in the flat pearls. So they've done the new in colours like this, but they've done the old ones too. How pretty are they? I might have to get me another pack of them. They're so pretty. So I got them. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And then I got the in colour ribbons. So we have Timid Tiger, Secret Sea, Cloud Cover, Darling Duckling, and Strawberry Slush in the ribbons. Finally able to order them. So I'll put them aside as well. And then the blends in all the colours as well. So they are nice. I'm going to pack them up too. I told you I didn't order very much. Then this is the in colour 6x6 paper that they have in all the colours. So Strawberry Slush. Oh, I like that. Look at that. So if you don't like flowers, the back of it's that. I like that. Cloud Cover. Look at that Secret Sea. Oh, I love Secret Sea. And then Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and then Leaves and Stripes, Strawberry Slush, Cloud Cover. Oh, I love this Secret Sea. Timid Tiger and Darling Duckling. So that is nice as well. Now I've got some DSP in the in colours. And this beautiful kit, I had a lot of people when I sent the catalogue to people that they wanted to order this. So hopefully those that ordered it want it. I should probably leave that in here because now there's nothing on it. So this is the Beautiful Blues kit. And look how pretty it is. I'm just going to leave that in there. Look, look, look. So you get a Night of Navy ink spot. I'm not seeing any comments today. What is going on? Are people commenting? Yes. Why aren't I seeing any comments? I can see people watching, but I can't see any comments. And then there's 12 comments. Here we go. Oh, here. Happy Mother's Day. Thanks, Marie. Hi, Christina. Hi, Kelly. Kerry, Megan, Janice, Jean, and Glenda. Now I can see everybody. Something was going on. Anyway, so this is the kit. How pretty is this kit? Night of Navy ink spot. You get this stamp, which you probably can't see too. Well, no. It's probably really hard to see. But you get a leaf image. This says, wishing you comfort, sending love, and you're in my thoughts. So that's nice. And then look at this. I love the colours. So this is $41 and it's available now in the catalogue. But that is not what I'm doing tonight. I would like to put that kit together, but last week we all voted and we wanted to see how I put those mini albums together. So that's what we're going to be doing. If you want, take some measurements down. So I have got initially 2 pieces of our 12 by 12. Now I keep all these when we get 12 by 12 paper pads and things like that, because this is what I do my mini albums with. And you need 2 because the album cover, so for those that haven't don't know, this is what we're making. One of these. So I've made a couple already. Right. And I'm going to show you how to make them. But these covers are chipboard. So they're a little bit sturdier. They're not really thick chipboard. You can buy sturdier chipboard so that they're really hard cover. But I don't buy chipboard. I use the stuff we get from Stampin' Up! In our paper pads. So you'll need two, because you need two pieces that are 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, which means you only get one out of one piece of 12 by 12. So this is not very economical, but it's free. So it needs to be 6 1/4. And I do find with chipboard, I do have my other marker there. Now, is everyone still commenting and I can't see? Yes, I love that kit. So nice. Now, I do find with chipboard, sometimes I will, because this is quite a new blade, I will take out my new blade and put in my old blade, because chipboard does destroy the blade a lot. Why won't they go in? And you want to, depending on how thick your chipboard is, you want to kind of cut on both sides of it. And I don't know what is going on tonight. Maybe if I do it this way, will I get comments? No. I can only get comments like this, but... Oh. Hi, Alice. Yes, this is exactly why you keep that chipboard, Christina. You don't throw anything out. So, and these other pieces, if you chose to do a smaller album, then yes. Now, for those just joining, I am having massive issues with my comments that I have to keep getting out of the live and going back into it to see what the comments are. So if I don't respond to you straight away, it's because I haven't seen it and I'm too busy crafting instead of going back and forth with my comments. Okay, so we've now got two pieces of 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 of the chipboard that you get from the back of your paper pads from Stampin' Up! Now I'm going to take out my old blade and put back in my new blade because I finished cutting my chipboard. And that's those two there. Now you want to choose a cardstock that you want the same cardstock for everything. So you will need one sheet for the front, one sheet for the back, and then you need six sheets, isn't it? I think it's 8 sheets actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, so you'll need 10 sheets of cardstock. It's just a pain in the butt. I do have a guillotine, but it's just a pain in the butt getting it because it's big to use on a video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six, 7, 8. And I also find sometimes when I use a guillotine, it moves. So I find I'm better without a guillotine, but So we need 2 for the covers, so we're going to put them over there. Now the rest we need to cut at 6 1/4. So the quarter mark is this one right on the join. So you want 6 1/4. Keep these strips here. Okay, so you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now with these 8 pieces, you want to score on the long side now at 6 1/4. Okay, so we're scoring, not cutting. So score here, score, score, so I did think about doing some of this beforehand, but I also thought like this is really easy to put together, so I thought I would do all of it in real time with you. And then if you want to watch the replay on Facebook or on YouTube, because I move all my videos to YouTube, then you can watch me 2 times and 2 times the speed, which is what I do when I watch videos. I can see me cutting here a few times accidentally. If you want, you could take your score blade, your cutting blade out so that that's not going to happen. And then with these bits, you want these to be 6 1/4 by 2 1/4. Is that 2 1/4? Yeah. So this bit, do this at 6 1/4, and we need 5 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now those bits we then score and you're scoring at, what am I doing here? One and 1 1/4. So you're scoring at 1 inch, and then 1 1/4. So they're not going to be exactly square because these measurements are from an American lady, and I have adjusted most things to be Australian, but I didn't adjust these, so they're just not going to be square, but that doesn't impact anything. All right, but don't freak when you score these and you're like, they don't line up, they're not even. It doesn't matter. All you're trying to do is get a like a page gusset in here. So you want 1, 1 1/4. And then we need the we need one other piece because I don't think that's going to be 4 inches. So another scrap piece of the same colour, it needs to be 4 inches by 6 1/4. And mine's got a score line in there. That's probably not ideal. That's not long enough. Oh, bless me. Oh, that's probably that. That'll be big enough. Okay. That's all right, Sue. So we want to trim that so that it's even. And then we want 6 1/4. Oh, that's going to be tight. 6 1/4 by 4. All right, and then we are scoring this at every 1/4 inch. So so we score at 1 inch first, 1 inch, and then every 1/4 inch until 3 inches. So we will have that will look like that. I'm just gonna trim that slightly there. Okay, so there are all our bits. Hi Renee. All our bits to start with. So what you want to do is you want to score all these. Get your bone folder and score all these with the, this is the spine bit to give you some room for your album. So it's a bit easier to, then you don't quite need your bone folder for that. So that's that. And then these bits need to score all them. So did we all have a lovely Mother's Day? Mine was very quiet, which was lovely. Hunter and I went to get a pedicure on Saturday, which is lovely. And then on Sunday, the boys cooked me breakfast. And then Adrian took Hunter over to see his mum. I phoned my mum. And then I did some computer work for Stampin' Up all day for the rest of the Sunday. And we're scoring these as well. And caught up on a bit of things and then chilled. Hunter and I watched Elsbeth, what we hadn't seen for the rest of the afternoon, because he quite likes that. It was very chilled. shitty weather, but anyway. So all right, so there is all our scoring and cutting done. Yes, we went out as a family Saturday night and relaxed on Sunday. That sounds lovely, Janice. My sister took me for high tea. Oh, that sounds fancy, Megan. Okay, so now we need to use some tape. Now, I am using tape, not seal, so that I can do all this up and then deal with it later type thing. So, we want... So, these bits here are these bits in here. Right, so that folds in like that and becomes like the gusset type thing. So what you want to do is how it's folded like that. You want to have tape on this side and this side. Okay, on all of them. And this is why I use double-sided tape, because you can do all this, whereas if you do it with seal, then the backing has already come off it. So you can do all this and then come back to it later if you want. Okay, so there's those bits done. Now this is the spine bit, so we actually want the tape on the inside of these bits without the scoring on them. Okay, so that's all the tape for those ones. Now, for the pages, you want, so these two pages are stuck together with the flaps on the outside. Now, I have made each of these pages a pocket as well, so that you haven't got the tape all the way on the inside. So what you need to do for that is you need to unfold all the pages and make sure you've got all the big side, like the 6 1/4 side, facing the right way and the same way, and that all your flaps are one way. And we want to stick pages together. So I did card making on Saturday and had lunch with both mums and the kids on Sunday. That sounds nice, Christina. So we're going to stick this one together. So you want to make sure, you want to make sure that you only have 3 sides with tape on it, right? Because you want the pocket to be a pocket. So, and we want it this way. So we want all the pockets to be on our right-hand side. So you have the pocket this way. And so then this piece needs to be this way so that the flaps will fold in this way. So we need to take off the adhesive. And then fold, like put these two together I find it easier to do it standing up like this so that they're level. All right, and then they're like that. This is the open flap up the top here. Done. So that's one page done. Pop that over to the side. Now we want... So this, to me, if you don't want the pockets, then stick all these together and that's fine. You don't have to have the pockets. It just gives you extra space for flowers, photos, memory keeping, whatever you want to stick in these albums. But it's not the end of the world if you don't have the pockets. But you just want to make sure that they're all lined up together. And all the right way. Okay. All right, so that goes that way, that goes that. Pop these together. Oops. And then we've got one last one to do. And I'm out of tape on this one, I think. Yep. Got a second tape here. Okay. All right, and then, oops. That one, and then this one. That didn't join up properly. Good thing it's a bit damp because I'm able to pull apart a bit. It's because I'm rushing. Don't rush. All right, so then when you put all these together, you want to make sure that all your flaps are out again, but all your pages are up the right way with all the pockets. Okay, so all my pockets are up the top. And now with our gussets, we want to line the gusset up with the top of the page. So not the flap, we want to line it up. So not where the flaps are. This is where the gusset is, and you need to line it up. So with the, so fold the score line back. So this will go like this. So you want to fold the score line back. And I just need to move those so that I can then, and line this up with the top of the page. Okay. And so then you can move that to the next one. And do that. That's a lot of tape. Well, it's a mini album, so I try and make sure that it's not going to fall apart with all the moving and the folding and flapping and things like that. So I make sure that it is adhered well and it's not going to come apart. You spend a bit of time on this, so you want to kind of make sure that it stays like that. Okay. So you line that up with the top of that. And now, so there, we've still got 4 single pages here. We need to now stick these pages together, right? So with this one, you want to push it back so that the score line is at the top. And on the page that doesn't have the gusset on it already, then you want to stick that down. But you want to make sure that you've still got your pockets facing the right way. Okay, so my pocket is here, my pocket is here. This is pushed up to the score line. And then this is lining up with that. And then when this one's on here, we push this up to the score line. Take this tape off. And then check that this is the pocket up here, yes. And then pull this one back, push that one up to the score line. On there, push that one forward to the top of the score line. Once you've done a few of these, they're really simple. And I've done quite a few of these. Push this one back, that one up the top. On there. Right, so now we have our pages on here, and they've all got a gusset except for this back page. So we need to add a gusset to this back page on here. So push that to the top of the score line there, on there. Okay. So now we have our pages. And we can close our flaps. And that is pretty much our album done. We need to do the cover pages and put the thing on it, the spine on here. But we need to add our album covers first. So to cover albums, we've got 2 full sheets of A4 cardstock with our 6 1/4 square chipboards, and we're just going to cover these. I'm going to do this one too while I'm at it. So and then you want to leave about 2 inches or so border around the bit. So I do a full sheet and then I kind of just eyeball it and cut it off about there. Some people might want to measure that. I don't. Okay. So I was cold before and now I'm doing this. I'm getting a bit of a sweat up. Put that on there, and again so put them in my scrap. Now you get the tape, and I'm not sure about speeding you up. I think I need to slow you down. Okay then. Once you've done a few, it'll be right, Megan. I watch all my craft videos at 2 times speed until they are talking about measurements. Then I usually have to slow them down. But other than that, 2 times. All my podcasts are watched at 2 times or listened at 2 times. Okay, so once you've done that, then what you do is you get your bone folder and you need to kind of break down the fibres of the cardstock a little bit. So just score the edge of your chipboard here with your bone folder. It doesn't have to be perfect, just a bit of a indent. And then what we do is we chop off the corners, but you don't want to chop off too much because you want to cover the corner. So just chop off, which is why we stick the tape on first, so that the tape will be all the way around. So those of you that have made mini albums, this is exactly like I've made hundreds of mini albums. This is the same way to do many, many, many of them to cover chipboard and stuff like that. So, which is why I'm, according to Megan, Speedy Gonzalez with this. So efficient. I don't have time to take too long. All right, so then we just fold that over there. I do the opposite sides first. In there. And then if you want, you can get your bone folder and push those corners in. I don't find it's completely necessary with this. It's not thick cardstock and it's not thick chipboard, so if you had thicker chipboard, you probably would. Okay, so there's one album cover. I do find, though, if I do too many of these, my wrist aches, and I think it's the way that I hold my wrist when I'm using take my pick tool to take the tape off and to how I put the tape on. Because usually I make two of these at once, and that goes through a 50-meter roll of tape, a pack of cardstock, and 2 packs of DSP usually, or a pack and a bit of DSP. Okay, so then this album cover needs to go on to this gusset and it will fit there. So you line it up the same way we did the pages. And this is the good thing about it being square. It doesn't matter which way it goes, it should line up. If you don't have it square, then you have to obviously make sure which way it goes. But by having a square mini album, it makes things so much easier. Okay. So, album covers are on. Now, I've been turning that around too much. Which way is my pockets? My pockets are this way. So we need to stick the cover on. What DSP are we going to use? This is Mossy Meadow, not Old Olive, and we are using this beautiful Gallery. DSP is what we're using tonight. Okay, so we take off this tape and we need to line this up so that this score line here lines up with the edge of that. So we line that up and we're just gonna This is like a 15th too short because I use that scrap piece of paper. So I'm just going to make it short on both sides and even. There. But if you used a normal piece and it wasn't short, then yours should line up exactly. You're not going to notice it when the DSP is on anyway. Okay, so that is on there. And again, I've just moved them around too much. Where's the pockets? Okay, so this way. So we need to now decide what papers we're going to decorate. Now, because we've done this 6 1/4 and there's a 6-inch paper, it will fit. There's no cutting of the DSP, which is why it is the fastest mini album in the world. If you already have 12 by 12 paper, just cut it in 6 by 6 straight up. Don't worry about it. Just cut it in 6 by 6 and work it out. So I want to know which ones I want for the covers. This is probably the longest bit. I like that. I also like that as well. I think I'm going to go with that. With that, and on the inside, then probably that, because that's, oh, maybe that. Because to me, that's pretty hideous. Right? So, that, and then that with that. And I try and just mix. So I do all the full sheets first. These ones we have to cut. So do that. I'm not spending too long on this, but that's why I went through this paper pad before, and the most dominant color was really the green, which is why I chose the green, because there was many more pages with green than the blue. Okay, so we have all those in. Now, let's get our tape and stick these down. And I put tape on all 4 sides just to make sure, because if you're adding pockets or embellishments and stuff like that. So today's video, I'm not going to embellish this at all. I'm just going to decorate it. But you can add embellishments and whatever else. You want to make sure that your paper is stuck down good and proper, so that's not going to come free when you've got other things on it. Okay, now have we got more comments? A 15th, yes. The first piece. Oh, I like that too, but I like this blue piece. I think this out. I'm going to do this album again because I'm making quite a few of these albums for something. And I've been making the albums with different color DSP, but the same, a different color cardstock, but the same DSP. So I think the other cards, the other cardstock that I will use with this paper is probably that Secret C. And we'll use a pack of that. Or 10 sheets of that. Oh, come on. So when it's decorative paper like that, doesn't matter which way. That's pretty, isn't it? Oh, look at that. That's pretty too. So I do think the longest part of this album is choosing the papers, but I find if you are using a 12 by 12 pack, cut it into 6 by 6 sheets straight up. Don't sit there and fluff around with it because you need them in 6 by 6 anyway, and it just makes the decision a lot easier as to what you are going to be doing. And by the time you do the flaps and everything, because there's a bit of cutting involved with them, you use just over half a pack. You can't quite get 2 albums out of a full pack of DSP. So you use just over half a pack. But if you're going to do the pockets and decorate the pockets inside and use DSP to decorate those pockets, then obviously you'll use more. I've not done that yet with my other albums because that's part of the embellishment. And I'm not up to that bit yet. Tuck your flaps in, open them up. And with the gussets being 1/4 inch, you have room to be quite creative with how much you want to decorate or put into this album, because there's enough room there to expand. If you have smaller gussets, like only 1/8 inch, then you wouldn't have as much room to decorate. This gives you plenty of room to add embellishments and pockets and photos and whatever else you want in here. Okay, close your flaps and next one. So if you want, you could add extra detail to this by adding a matte layer of cardstock before you do DSP. You could do that and have 1/8 inch border and still not cut your DSP. Or if you wanted to have 1/4 inch border still, then you would have to cut your DSP. So that would obviously slow down the making of this album, because the best bit is it does use 6 by 6 paper and you don't have to cut it. And how many of us have paper just lying around, hundreds of sheets that we don't know what to use or what to do with it? This is a great use for it. And even the cardstock. Because if you've got retired paper, you probably have retired cardstock somewhere too. As long as you've got 10 sheets of cardstock, you wouldn't be able to do then the pockets if you only had 10 sheets of cardstock, but if you've got more than 10 sheets, then you can do the pockets, or you could just flip it up and have different coloured inserts into the pockets. There's nothing stopping you from having that. Okay, So that is now decorated for those. Now we go and I do the flaps. How are we going for time? So my idea with the flaps is that if I've had a busy piece, I kind of don't want such a busy piece on here. Maybe. Some of these pieces I'm like, oh, I don't like. That's different flowers, so can't do that. So you could do the back of that on that. That would work well. And then I do the same there. So now we've got to do the insides of this one. That looks nice there. And we want the outsides of this one. Insides of this one. Sometimes I just don't think about it too much. The more you think about it, the more you go, oh, I don't know. Oh, that's nice. I like that a lot. Oh, and that was that. What did we end up doing on that side? Oh, we didn't do that one. Look at that. Let's do that. That goes with that. That goes with that. Right, so this is how much of a paper pad we've got left. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So you get 48 sheets, so I've used 28. So 20 sheets left, plus there will be some scraps. So it's been a while since I've done this. I cannot remember the measurement. It is 5.5, so it'd be 5 1/4. So you need to cut directionally 5 1/4. So you will have this strip on all of them. Right, and this. Let's just do one at a time there because it moved. 5 1/4. It has got really hot in here now. Hi Tammy, how are you? Don't worry about time, you'll have to finish this now. Yes. All right, so we're cutting all these at 5 1/4, and then we're going to go back and stick them down. So if you're cutting, you want to make sure that you're obviously cutting things the same way. Pop that in. And then cut that. And that. I do find after cutting for a little bit that my shoulder gets a little bit sore, but anyway, done. So, hope you're feeling better, Tammy. All right, let's get our tape. So we've got all these bits here. You can keep those bits if you wish and use them for other cards. I have that much bloody cardstock, DSP, that I probably don't keep those bits. People are horrified at what I get rid of, including Beck Hall. I sent her some pictures of my scraps of the white of what I get rid of, and she's like, oh my God, that's a whole card front there. I'm like, oh. I was keeping my scraps, but I just end up with so much. So unless it's like a 2-inch strip, I don't keep it. I just have too much. Okay, so then we stick this on. And this bit goes in there. I'm making a album, a mini album. You'll have to stick around and see the end result. I'm nearly finished. I haven't finished decorating it, but I've nearly finished. So this is why, because see how I hold the tape and my wrist, it aches in there when I make too many of these without giving myself sufficient rest, because I have RSI on my wrist. Okay, so we are doing this side. Oh. And stick that down. You can't see me doing the flap over this side because it's outside camera, but you can see this one, I think. Okay. That and that. So we're seeing that. Nearly done. And I am just over the hour. So if you want to make this later, I will move this to YouTube. I am usually a week behind in moving things to YouTube. For those that don't know, my YouTube is just Vickie Kello, Vickie Kello. And all my Facebook Lives get transferred to YouTube because Facebook now don't allow you to store Facebook Lives for greater than 30 days, which means you won't have the ability to go back and see this after 30 days because Facebook delete it. Rude. But if you do jump over to YouTube, I would appreciate some comments. I don't get many comments on that YouTube. There's quite a few people watching and I get quite a few watch hours, but no one comments. So I have all these silent lurkers. So that can go down there. And if you happen to have paper that you really just do not like at all, well then this is a great way of using it, because if you stick pictures in this album, you cover most of the paper up anyway. So it's not like you're even going to see it. Because I'm sure some of us have some paper that we truly dislike. We are nearly done. Oh, I need a drink though. And good thing my wrist is getting a bit sore. I will have to wear my guard tomorrow. Okay. So we're going to stick tape on this side. And so if you are making these, I use the Express It tape as well. I don't use, is it Couture Creations tape? That stuff just falls apart. I don't know whether it's the Queensland humidity or not, but you want mini albums to last and stay put together. And my experience making these, because I have made hundreds of these, that you want Express It tape. You don't want Couture Creations, because it doesn't stick. Oh. Damn it. Oh, that's lucky. That's... Ugh. I'm like, I don't remember sticking down that grey piece. Oh, that's so pretty. All right, now We want to see a picture of all the tape backings after this. Okay. It's all over to the side here. It's a mess. It's a mess. Because I'm just throwing it to the side. Right, so this is done now. You just need to have some more embellishments or whatever. So I've got, this is the one we made. And then obviously there is the pockets in each. So each of these will open up, and there's, if I've stuck these the right way, there is a pocket. So then you can stick that in there. So that will be like a 5 by 4 inch pocket that you could really pretty much get in there, which you could then have double-sided and use more paper on there to decorate as photo mounts or things like that. So there's that one. This is the other one that I made with the starfish and the ocean friends. And so I made that with the Melon Mambo cardstock. And then this is the same paper, but I've used Calypso Coral paper, cardstock instead, but it's the same paper. Then this one is the free mushroom paper that we got with Celebration. So this is in the Granny Apple Green. And then I've redone that again in the Melon Mambo, same paper. So you get nearly 2 albums out of a pack of DSP. But if you want the photo mounts and everything for the pockets, you'll need probably 2 packs of DSP, 20 sheets of 20 plus the pockets. So 20, because you need 10 sheets of cardstock for the album, plus then the pockets. So you'd want 1 or 2 things in each pocket. There's 4 sheets, so there's another 4 sheets of cardstock. So you'd want, yeah, probably 28 sheets of cardstock and 2 packs of DSP to do 2 albums. And an awful lot of tape. So if I just twist this over here, can you see the rubbish there that Megan wanted to see? So do you stick photos on each page and in the pockets as well? Yes, if you want, or some journaling or some pictures or things. So that's the pile of rubbish that Megan wanted to see. You can do whatever you want with it, Megan. It's your album and things. But the idea behind these is that you can stick memories and things of like a certain event that's happened and things like that. So you could have this as senior graduation. You could have this as Mother's Day and just stick all the Mother's Day photos in here or something like that. But I'm making a few of these for something, and that's 5 of them now done. So I think I'm going to do another one with this paper, but I will probably use Secret Sea as the cardstock colour because it looks a bit different with each cardstock colour. And use the rest of that paper, and I did buy 2 packs of that paper. So I should have this up on YouTube probably after next weekend because I've got my class next Saturday. So maybe after that, I'll move it to YouTube if you need to go back and have a look at the measurements and everything like that. So thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you next time. Bye.